Bumm, da ist er ja. Hei, hei, hei. Uff. Na, da müssen wir jetzt gleich mal gucken. Schönen guten Tag zusammen. Fabis, Fabis schreibt, es gibt nichts Besseres als langweiligen Pen-Paper-Arbeit und nebenbei einen guten Stream gucken. Er setzt aber sehr viel Vertrauen in diesen Stream. Hallo, Kleine. So. Oh, erste Chat-Nachricht des Zuschauers. So, dann wollen wir noch mal gucken. Muss mal das Spiel starten. Wahrscheinlich hört man das gleich schon. Und versuchen mal parallel eben die Spieleansicht reinzuziehen. Wow. Wahrscheinlich hört man es schon. Ändern. So. Jetzt habe ich den ersten. Ich weiß nicht, konnte man den ersten Chart lesen? Also, weil ich meine, da stand irgendwie was. Ich habe es mir vorhin durchgelesen. Bitte nehmen Sie dieses Spiel nicht als Grundlage für irgendwelche Medikamente. Und das andere war, dass in diesem Spiel keine Ratten wirklich verletzt wurden. Das finde ich sehr schön. So, ist die Lautstärke für euch so in Ordnung? Also vom Spiel und von mir? Das ist erstmal die Frage, weil das ist ja jetzt neues Spiel, neue Einstellungen und so weiter. Hallo, Saxophönchen. Also die Frage nochmal, wie ist Lautstärke? Geht Lautstärke fein? Ich guck nochmal eben. Das von, ja, der hat es übernommen. So. Dann starten wir doch einfach mal ein neues Spiel. Story-Modus, normaler Modus. Wir nehmen normales Spiel, ne? Ja. Wir nehmen Standard. Ich bin kein Hardcore-Gamer. Ich möchte aber auch ein klein bisschen eine Herausforderung.
12 dreams for the Red Queen under crown of stone. 8 voracious beasts born from 8 restless nights. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner. 1 prayer for the summoned, called by this song. 'Tis perhaps the countdown to oblivion for the once proud city of London. 'Tis perchance her inhabitants' last dance alone to face death and pestilence. Confronted by the eerie and unknown, mortals became desperate for answers. A flock's flight makes for an omen, the falling of a star a dire presage. Turning to priests for interpretation when there was no reason to be found. When religion failed, men turned to science. I saw them build such vain cities, crafting machines made for endless war. New questions flourished as old answers withered. What is darkness but lurking sun? What is wall but enslaved stone? What is glass but tortured sand? What is song but a call to arms? What is hate but jilted love? What is life but death pending?
Ooh.
Death. Since the apple was plucked from the sacred tree, mortality was believed to be God's punishment, a righteous snare to keep mankind from ascending to the stars. They were all so wrong. Death is not a wicked thing, nor some holy retribution. A true punishment would be to never know its sweet kiss. Awaken from
Ja, sieht für mich nach einem standardmäßigen Sonntagmorgen aus, wenn man morgens in der Kneipe war, ne? Abends in der Kneipe war. Boah. Wahrscheinlich schon lange keiner mehr Staub gewischt, ne? Ja. Boah, nee, so ging's mir jetzt am Donnerstag. Nach der dritten Impfung so, ich morgens so aufgewacht, so, oh, Alter. Boah. Was ist das hier? Das ist doch keine Luft, das ist doch Gelee, wo ich hier durchlaufe.
Thirsty. So thirsty.
Hallo. Oh fuck, die kennen uns.
My sweet brother. What have you done?
Mary! Oh, no. Mary! Hold on. Please, hold on. Oh, God. Oh, no.
Schwester.
Mary. Mary. No. No. It's a nightmare. No! Please, a moment, let me explain!
Fucking hell. So war das jetzt aber nicht, als aber die Polizei kam und so.
These patrols are after me. No! No! Don't shoot! This is a nightmare. I need to get out of here.
So. Hier irgendwie hoch. So. Keine Ahnung. Okay. Geh einfach hier weiter.
This can't be happening.
Der Weg mich offensichtlich.
No, stop! I mean you no harm.
Wow. Ja, everywhere.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? What's all this about?
Oh, hi. Oh, was war's denn?
Shit, where'd it go?
Ich hab Machete.
Now, I can defend myself.
Ha!
Kill the thing!
Who are you? Stay back, sorry. But you left me no choice.
Sorry man, didn't want to, had to.
Who are you? Stupid beast! Got up like kindling. Sorry.
Muss mal wieder reinkommen. Okay, also auf Dingstes ausweichen. Also springen, das ist ja schon mal an sich eine coole Sache. Ich möchte eigentlich nicht hier... Leute... nein, gibt es hier keinen anderen Weg drumherum? Ich möchte nicht unbedingt mit denen kämpfen. But I guess you want me to.
Easy does it, boys.
No, please, stop!
Burn it! That's what you do.
Who are you?
No!
What do you want?
Ja. What are you wanting? Please tell me.
I mean you no harm. I need help.
Die, you fucking leech!
Please, listen to me. I can't make any sense of this.
Shut up, beast!
Who are you? What is this all about? What in God's
Son will do the rest of the job.
Just leave me.
Ja, so kenne ich das aber auch von morgens so.
It feels like it's burning me to the bone. Let me go! I need to find somewhere to hide. I need to find shelter.
Hä? Who's shelter?
Is anybody there? What is this place? The place seems abandoned. I should be safe enough here.
Oh, was gibt's denn hier so? Guck mal.
Brother, what have you done?
Mary! Mary! Mary, I'm sorry. Whoever did this to us, I will find them.
Oh, also anscheinend sind wir hier irgendwie... Ne, wir sind nicht zu Hause, weil hier liegen tote Leute rum. Okay. Die waren in letzter Zeit auch nicht beim Zahnarzt, glaube ich.
Wait. This one's dressed up fancy. Let's run through his pockets.
Picking the dead's pockets? Are you serious?
I've still a rent to pay. He's got no more responsibilities. What's this? Go watch.
Beautiful it is. We fancy it and share the takings. I suppose we are undertakers. Now, give him an Eve.
That's impossible.
Hä? Ja, verstehe ich jetzt gerade nicht. Haben die jetzt die Uhr genommen oder nicht? Oder ist das jetzt unser Haus oder nicht? Ich bin total verwirrt. Ah, Flaschen mit Alkohol. Nice. So wollen wir das doch haben. Was haben wir denn hier sonst noch? Gehen erstmal das Erdgeschoss durch. Oh, da war was. Schillinge. Feuer und Sonne. Oh, guck mal, da können wir schon mal... So, jetzt müssen wir erstmal hier wie... reinzoomen. Hallo. Ich würde gerne wissen... Ah, so kann ich die Karte bewegen. Okay. Das heißt, hier irgendwo... Da ist wahrscheinlich der Dumpster gewesen, wo wir drin gelegen haben. Ne, das kann ich das wieder... Hallo? Kann ich das wieder entfernen? Ah, okay. Markierung entfernen. Vielleicht sollte ich auch lesen. Okay. Wow. Ja, aber gut. Gut, mal schauen, wie das so läuft. So. Okay. Cool, wir haben auf jeden Fall schon mal ein Inventar. Blutsauger fürchten sich nicht vor der Sonne oder Feuer. Und sie verbrennen auch nicht oder werden zu Asche, wenn sie Tageslicht abbekommen. Aber es tut ihnen wirklich höllisch weh. Ich habe mal persönlich einen Vampir an einen Baum gebunden, um zu sehen, was passiert, wenn die Sonne aufgeht. Seine Haut schwärzte sich ein paar Minuten, als ob er von innen verbrennen würde. Seine Augen und sein Fleisch schmolzen und ich sah, wie sich seine unheiligen Knochen bewegten und quietschten, als das Monster den ganzen Tag versuchte freizukommen. Am Ende war nur noch eine ausgetrocknete Leiche, die sich aber wieder erholte, nachdem die Sonne hinter dem Horizont untergegangen war. Ich schnitt ihm den Kopf ab, um ihn schlussendlich zu vernichten. Als ich dasselbe mit Feuer versuchte, verkohlte ein anderer Blutsauger für immer zu Asche. Feuer ist die Waffe unserer Wahl, Brüder. Man tötet die Biester am besten, indem man sie verbrennt. Auskennt eure Feinde von Carl Eldridge, Anführer der Wache von Priven. Was ist Priven? Ist das ein Stadtteil? You never know. Okay. Das ist alles noch betouched sozusagen. Gucken wir doch mal im zweiten Stock. Ah, die Tür voll zugedengselt. Ich kann mich im Spiegel sehen. Ha.
12 dreams for the Red Queen that sleeps under crown of stone, that she might linger longer, her eyes as white as gold.
Who goes there?
A prayer summoned by warring song. A child born from darkness must
Letzter Mantel.
Who's there? Are you referring to me? No! No! I still have so much to accomplish. I still have so much left that needs doing.
Was muss ich denn tun? Oh. Hello, Sir? Alter, was ist denn hier passiert? Das ist aber auch... Oh ne, der hat sich... Weggeballert hat er sich.
Johnny, this one's lost. We need to leave. And now!
No! There's time. I can save him.
That's the enemy coming! The orders are to evacuate the hospital!
Done. He'll live.
And now what?
We fight. Killing is a hell of a lot easier than healing. No, it never got easy.
Hier. Boah, also wenn das jetzt immer so längere Sachen sind, die werde ich ja nicht vorlesen. Ich lese die mir jetzt selber durch. Ihr könnt ihn euch natürlich auch versuchen, jetzt in der Zeit durchzulesen. Aber ich glaube, das dauert einfach zu lange, wenn ich alle paar Minuten so einen, keine Ahnung, so einen 3-minütigen Text vorlese. Da komme ich halt zu gar nichts. Oh, Becky hat letzte Nacht etwas geschlafen. Oh nein. Oh nein, Becky. Was ist mit dir? Warum hustest du? Ist hier sonst noch irgendwas drin? Nee. Dann werden wir wahrscheinlich das Offensichtliche tun und erstmal pennen. Ja, einen Mörder meiner Schwester finden.
This makes no sense. None of it. No sense at all. It's a nightmare. That's it. So be it. Rational thinking only.
Ja, das war das Spiel. Ich hoffe, es hat euch Spaß gemacht. Mal schauen, wann ich das nächste Spiel spielen kann. Man weiß es noch nicht genau. Ich melde mich auf jeden Fall. Vielleicht auch wieder sonntags oder so.
This is absolute madness. I've lost touch with the real.
Madness it is, as mad as the moon, who tames blinding sunlight into a glowing reflection.
Betten im Unterschlupf ermöglichen es dir, dich zu entwickeln und auszuruhen. Sammel Erfolgspunkte, um Stufen aufzusteigen und deine Vampirsinne zu verbessern. Okay, beginne mit der Auswahl der verfügbaren Fähigkeit Autophagie. Autophagie, du verbrauchst dein eigenes Blut, um deinen normalen und angesammelten Schaden sofort zu heilen. Okay. Ja, nice. Also ich bin ja so jemand, ich spiele ja immer so auf der lieben Seite durch. Das heißt, ich möchte eigentlich möglichst wenig Leute töten und aussaugen und so, sondern ich möchte möglichst viel Gutes tun. Because I'm the good guy. I'm the good vampire. Ein Schlag mit kurzer Reichweite, der alle Lebewesen vor dir aufschlitzt. Ha. Du wirfst einen Speer aus Blut, der Gegner vor dir durchbohren kann. Du erzeugst eine Schattenwolke an deinen Füßen oder den deines Ziels. Nach einer kurzen Zeit explodiert die Wolke und versucht schweren Schaden. Aber ich gehe davon aus, dass es unsere Möglichkeiten sind, Schaden zu verursachen. Das heißt, ich werde die auch mal auswählen. So, da haben wir jetzt hier diesen Schlag mit kurzer Reichweite. So ist es dann, hey? Guck mal hier, sowas möchte ich zum Beispiel. Erhöhe deine Gesundheit, erhöhe deine Ausdauer, erhöhe deine Blutkapazität, erhöhe die Aufnahme, wenn Biss im Kampf verwendet wird. Aha, aha. Erhöht den verursachten Schaden, wenn Biss im Kampf verwendet wird. Achso. Erhöht die Regeneration deiner Lebenspunkte, wenn Biss im Kampf verwendet wird. Erhöht die Anzahl der Kugeln, die du tragen kannst. Du konzentrierst deine Kraft, um das Blut deines Zieles zum Kochen zu bringen, bis es wuchtig explodiert. Alter. Oh. Entfesselst das Biest in dir. Das Biest springt rasend schnell zu allen Gegnern in deiner Nähe und greift sie wuchtig an. Ach du fucking... Ah, hier. Schattenschleier. Sowas will ich. Ich will den Schatten verschwinden. Und sowas. Blutbarriere. Okay. Na jo, na jo.
That voice in my head. If I'm not mad, then it must belong to the one who made me what I am. I must find him to understand what I have become.
So. Ewiger, du hast finde raus, welcher Vampir dich geschaffen hat und konfrontiere ihn. Gibt es denn jetzt hier noch irgendwelche... Ah, ja. Stelle Nachforschung zu deinem neuen Zustand an. Erreiche North Bank. So, das ist so, glaube ich, Hauptmission, okay. So. So kann ich hier drin nur normal laufen. Ah, so, jetzt kann ich. Oh, oh. Sie haben mich gefunden.
Where is it? It's closed.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Here's the leech. Here!
Nice. Teleportation.
My head's spinning.
Ist irgendwas?
Come out, you coward!
I cannot enter.
Genutzter Flock. Nebenwaffen können durch Drücken von verwendet werden. Kannst du spezielle Angriffe ausführen, die Ausdauer verbrauchen. Okay. Whatever.
I'm still in Southwark. I must reach the West End.
Die, vermin!
The strength I never knew I had.
Ah ja. Ich hab's doch verstanden. So, hier kann ich nicht rum. Ich soll da unten rum. Oder soll ich hier rum? Worum kann ich?
It's locked.
It's locked. Ja, warte, hier bin ich rausgekommen, ne? Ja. Ah, okay. Alter. Alter. Okay. Das war schnell. Das war schnell. Irgendwie ein bisschen merkwürdig so mit der, also mit der Steuerung komme ich noch gerade noch nicht so zurecht. So. Wir starten mal wieder hier, wo wir hier rausgehen.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
wollen, dass ich da anscheinend da unten runtergehe und... Wieso funktioniert das nicht?
I sinew every fiber of my being is a fire. I feel like a child learning the limits of my body.
Okay. Hey.
My strength, my reflexes.
Okay.
I'm not human anymore.
Sind hier auch so Sachen drin in den Kisten oder ist das einfach nur so Flavor? Was sind die? Mal gucken mit der... Das Problem ist, das Spiel ist ja so ein bisschen auf dunkel eingestellt. Ich sehe aber ein bisschen weniger gut, weil ich ja gleichzeitig noch angestrahlt werde. Deswegen ist es ein bisschen dunkel so für mich. Also noch dunkler. Eigentlich wäre es okay, wenn ich ohne Anstrahllicht spielen würde. Was war denn hier so? Your king and country need you. Join the British ranks and help the brave lads at the front. Ah, okay. Und hier? Ah. Kann man das hier auch gucken? Ja, das kann man nicht gucken.
My poor sister. If only I had controlled my need for blood. Mary, someone will pay for what happened to you. For what happened to us. I cannot enter.
I cannot enter. So, die Frage ist, warum sollte ich da reingehen? Oder sollte ich da reingehen oder kann ich da nicht reingehen?
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, also wir sollen hier vorbei. Ah. Okay.
The dizziness from the jump. I can now control it. It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Da sind sie aber sehr... Was ist denn das jetzt? Haben sie sich aber gut ausgedacht hier.
What will London have to say to me? I cannot enter. I've so many questions unanswered. Another corpse. Have the very streets of London become a mausoleum? The man has been drained of all blood, but I can still smell the scent of it. I follow the scent's trail. Perhaps it will lead me to my assailant. Fresh blood. The smell is so strong. Where has everyone gone? I can't believe I'm doing this.
Karte nach. Kann ich hier nicht... Ach so. Ich drücke E. Ah. So. Ein Unterschlupf. Ich hasse mich dafür, dass ich wegschaue, wenn sie mich wegen meiner Hautfarbe verspotten. Ich hasse mich dafür, dass ich wie ein Mädchen weine, wenn sie mich beleidigen. Ich hasse mich dafür, dass ich wie ein Junge fluche, wenn sie fort sind. Ich hasse mich dafür, dass ich meine Eltern hasse. Ich hasse mich dafür, dass ich lächle, wenn mich Kunden die traurige Brina nennen. Ich hasse mich dafür, dass ich nie den Mut finde, Tom meine wahren Gefühle zu gestehen. Oh. Was? Sabrina versteckt ihre wahren Gefühle für ihren Boss Tom Watts. Aha. Okay. Ich will aber eigentlich keine Leute töten. Why? I don't want to. Kann ich nicht einfach Leute nicht töten? Wäre das nicht cool? Aha. Wer ist denn hier in die türkise Schildkröte gegangen?
At last, a little life.
Welcome, sir, to the Turquoise
I think
Turtle.
drink no longer stood.
My God, sir, you look like Jonah's whale just spat you out of hell. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty.
Well, grab a chair and get some rest. This is going to be another long night.
Why is it going to be a long night?
You must be new around here. Don't you know about the murders?
Do the police have any leads on a suspect?
Even before the outbreak, coppers never came round here. We're on our own. People die in these parts all the time, and no one cares.
Tell me more about these murders.
Every morning for the last few weeks, bodies have been found. And those poor sods didn't die of flu.
Where am I? Where is this place?
You're at my bar, sir, the Turquoise Turtle. The last ray of light in this dangerous part of town.
So you're open all night?
Yep. Figured people might need a place to rest in these dark times.
Aren't you scared?
Scared of what? All the bad shit happens out on the foggy streets. And I never go outside.
I'm looking for someone who might have passed through here recently. Wondered if you might help.
It's been quiet tonight. The only other person I've seen went straight up to his room. Thought it was kind of rude, actually.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yeah. He paid for the entire week.
Who is this man? What does he look like?
Well, like a gentleman, I guess. Well-dressed, quite polite. A professor or something fancy like that. Always writing, reading notes.
I need to meet this man. I have questions.
Just climb the stairs and knock on the first door. I heard him open his window, so I guess he's still awake. And,
Yes?
no funny business. You hear me? This is a respectable establishment.
I think I'm losing my mind.
I see. Thank you.
I should just run as far away from
Are you
this
okay?
Good evening, sir. I wondered if I could ask for your help.
Wow, you look like you need a drink.
Yes. I apologize for my outfit. It's been a long night.
Been there, seen that. Don't worry, things can only get worse.
Has anybody entered the bar recently?
Can't say. Sorry. I spent the night making love to that gorgeous bottle, see?
This is important, sir. Are you sure no one has come in here in the last few hours?
I don't know and I don't care. This is a free country. People still have the right to come and go, don't they?
It's a free country.
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
Good night then. I'll have a look at
I think I'm
myself.
losing my mind. I should just run as far away from this place as I
This is no place for you. Prewen has several patrols roaming the area.
They do not pursue me.
But they're looking for vampires, and they're most efficient.
They'll not relent until the killer has been identified.
I have a common objective, but I require...
I think someone is eavesdropping.
Are you certain? You might as well come in, whoever you are.
Slowly, vampire! Who are you?
I mean you no harm.
Saith the vampire. Present yourself!
I need a word. Would anyone?
Well, that's something I can do for you. And who might you be?
I'm not sure that I know anymore.
Might I at least learn the reason of your presence?
That's none of your concern.
Sir, you have entered my room in the middle of the night, pale as a corpse and shaking like a tree. So please, indulge me.
Someone is molesting people. In fact, killing them. Biting them.
The calling card of a vampire. Like you.
I've been hunted down in the streets and attacked. I'm a victim here, too.
I believe you.
Then if you are not a vampire, who or what are you?
Dr. Edgar Swansea of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. I'm performing an independent investigation here in an attempt to understand precisely what is going on.
And what exactly is this Brotherhood?
Sir, if the name is not familiar to you, then we shall discuss it another time.
Okay.
What have you uncovered concerning the murders?
It started a few nights ago. Rumors of violent murders. The docks have always been, shall we say, somewhat unsavory. But this is different.
How different?
A vampire is at work here. Famished. Reckless. It must be brought to ground, and quickly.
I heard another voice, that of a woman. Who were you talking to?
Ridiculous. I've no idea what you're talking about.
Something tells me not to trust you.
Then the feeling is mutual.
Then help me find the culprit.
I may. If you'll first tell me why you opened this door.
I followed a trail. The scent of blood from a recent victim. It led me here.
You thought I was your aggressor. That explains a great deal. We're both chasing the same shadow.
A shadow, indeed. Yet I heard his voice in my head. There was a moment I believed I was mad.
You should let me handle this affair. You've no idea what you're up against.
No. I will find the monster. He is mine.
How will you do any better than I? But then let me ask you this. What are your intentions if you find the killer?
I will at last have the answers to my questions.
Then I can only wish you good hunting. And pray we shall meet again.
Kann ich nochmal mit dem reden? Nee, kann ich nicht. Kann ich hier aus dem Fenster gucken? Okay.
If Swansea is not my attacker, it means somebody else came here tonight.
I hope I live
Someone
long enough
must
to see
know
them
something.
when what's coming to them.
Bestimmt hier die Mark, die weiß es doch. Oder die.
Evening, sir. Can I help you?
I have a few questions for you.
Well, if you must.
What is this place?
This is Tom's bar, the Turquoise Turtle. I'm the barmaid here, Sabrina, if you want to know.
You don't seem to have much business. Where is everybody?
Well, most people are sleeping right now. And those that are awake tend to avoid going out. What with the murders and all.
So, ich weiß doch, wer du bist.
I spoke to Dr. Swansea. He's not the man I'm looking for. Now, I want the truth.
The truth? What do you mean?
I suspect that someone else was here tonight. And I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you're the only visitor we had, then you're the only visitor we had.
I can feel your fear, madam. Please, tell me what's going on.
It's Will. William Bishop. He came in here earlier tonight and he... Well, I thought he was going to clock someone.
Why are you so afraid?
I mean, his skin. His hands. I scrubbed every glass and every chair that he touched. God, I hope it's not contagious.
What happened tonight?
He was dead drunk, as usual. But my God, his eyes. His face. He must have caught something awful. He shouted and cried. It was terrible.
Okay.
Tell me about this William Bishop.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before he lost that job. A nice bloke, really. He's never been violent. Until tonight.
Why keep it a secret? Why not tell me about it?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one ear. They used to be good mates. But recently, well... Will started to get very aggressive.
I see. Thank you for your candor. I'll be sure to talk to Tom.
Tom.
Not long ago,
What are you hiring?
would have given me a laugh.
Welcome back. Did you find what you were after?
I can't say I have. Are you sure no one else came into your bar before I arrived?
Hey, I told you, you were the only other stranger I've had.
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend, William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he's not my friend anymore.
Why lie to me if he is not your friend?
I didn't lie. I said you were my only unannounced customer, and that's the truth.
Who is he?
William. Just an old sailor who loves his gin too much. He worked for years at the canning factory before it closed.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah. Like many drunks, he's all bark and no bite. Can barely stand up most of the time.
How was he tonight? Was he different?
Sicker than usual, perhaps. He whined and mumbled about how mean people were to him and how he'd like to talk to me outside, and then he left when I refused.
Ich liebe das Spiel jetzt schon, weil es hat so eine Mischung aus RPG, Point-and-Click-Adventure auch irgendwie so und vor allem auch so ein bisschen dieser Detektivmodus so, hey, ich muss Hinweise finden und ich muss mit Leuten reden und ne, so, ich liebe sowas.
I need to find him. It's a matter of urgency. Do you know where he is?
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe him to me.
What'd you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
I should just run as far away from this place as I
There's gotta be something can be done to get out of this bullshit mess.
Okay.
Are they stupid or something? I've never really been to India.
Stupid or something. So, ich gucke mich aber hier nochmal eben. Ist ja die Karte. Okay. Ah, doch, es gibt mehr Stufen. Ah. Okay, das ist das, wo ich dachte. Man könnte jetzt hier noch so durch die Gegend gehen und hier ist so ein Unterschlupf. Den werden wir wahrscheinlich nach der,
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue.
nach der Geschichte
What's been done to me, to this city. The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood. This corpse has been dried of its blood, just like the previous victim. This man was armed. He tried to defend himself. What's this? Some sort of note.
Mehrere Tode bei den Docks. Wir glauben, dass ein dreckiger Blutsauger seine Finger im Spiel hat. Findet das Biest, schaltet es aus und zwar schnell. Achtung, laut jüngsten Gerichten ist der Vampir äußerst brutal. Nähert euch nur mit größter Vorsicht. Ich weiß, dass wir in diesem Teil der Stadt zu wenige Männer haben. Schickt keine Anfänger los, um der Sache nachzugehen. Wenn ich recht habe, tötet dieser Wilde jede Nacht. Sucht wie immer zuerst verlassene Orte ab, also alte Häuser, Keller, die Kanalisation oder Lagerhallen und vernichtet den Blutsaugerbrüder. Okay, Wache von Prim, also wahrscheinlich
These men,
Dock-Patrouille.
they're a company of professional vampire hunters. Blood and empty gin bottles. This bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker.
Kurz noch weg, einen Schluck nehmen.
There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
Over there!
Ist hier noch mehr? Da ist noch
I'm cold. There's nothing here.
Kann man hier irgendwie schleichen?
Shut that foolish mouth of yours. You have enough.
Mal eben kurz gucken. Ne, doch da. Kann man hier irgendwie schleichen? Hä? Gehen umschaltbar? Hä?
I'm McCullum to be wrong about anything.
Right.
Drücke. Okay. Ja, okay. Achso. Physisch Nahkampf, Fernkampf, Kräfte, Blutschatten, Schweiß auf mittlere Widerstandsfähigkeit hin, Routing gegen auf hohe Widerstandsfähigkeit.
I've been part of the guard 3 weeks to the day.
All the more reason to shut it, Mr. Billy. If the man says a bloodsucker's dug in here, you've but one job, and that's to find it. And find it fast.
It's fair enough, Tom.
But why do they hide where it's so damn cold?
This one's mine!
Ah!
Watch it! It's a killer!
So. Aber ich kann die auch ausrauben. Nice. Nein, ich bin nicht der Killer, Leute. Hm? Okay. Warte. Ich hab doch... warte, der hat doch hier... Habe ich das jetzt gerade falsch verstanden? Ich habe keine... Doch, Feuerwaffen. Wie kann ich die denn hinterlegen? Warte mal. Zweite Hand. Okay, die hat keine... Ich habe noch keine Kugeln. Da macht es natürlich nicht so viel. So, let's have a look.
Steady, boys! We've got one of them here! Easy! Over there! There's one of them vermin!
Oh, Patronen. So, gucken wir nochmal, was die jetzt so dabei hatten. Die, doch, der hat was dabei. Blutspur. Okay. So. Okay.
Over there!
Oh, da ist auch noch was. So.
This is despicable.
Hey, Ratte, komm her.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Ja, aber es sind halt nur Ratten und keine Menschen, ne? Don't get it wrong, Mister. So, warte mal. Du hast einen Unterschlupf gefunden. Hier kannst du deine EP verteilen, während du dich ausrüstest oder Gegenstände am Arbeitstisch herstellen. Ah, nice. Let's have a look. Versteck. Alle auffüllen, okay. So, haben wir sonst noch irgendwas? Oh. cool. Ich kann Sachen herstellen. An Arbeitstischen kannst du Folgendes herstellen. Medizinische Behandlungen, um erkrankte Bürger zu behandeln. Sera, um dich selber zu stärken. Waffenaufwertung, um deine Waffe zu verbessern. So, du hast ausreichend Bestandteil, um deine Waffe zu verbessern. Drücke D. So. So, das kann ich noch nicht machen. Kann ich... Den Flock kann ich aufwerten. Ne, kann ich nicht aufwerten. Dafür brauche ich noch Sachen. Kann ich die hier aufwerten? Ne, kann ich auch nicht aufwerten. So, aber ich habe schon mal die geilere Machete. Das ist natürlich cool. Kannst die mega ultra super cool Machete machen. So. Haben wir noch nicht so viele Punkte, ne? Das ist ja so ein Angriff. Also prinzipiell, warte mal. 50 und das könnten wir auch machen. Okay. 300, 300. 300, 300, 300, 300. Das möchte ich haben, das. Schattenschleier, aber dazu brauche ich Stufe 5. Ich hole mir erstmal eine Fernkampfwaffe. Das sind nur 190. Schupp. Hä? Ach nee, da... Ah, okay, ich brauche 1000 als Grunddings. Hier auch? Überall? Ne, hier brauche ich 300. Okay, cool. Was sagt der mir denn? Ah, okay. Und das kostet auch 1000. Okay, dann nehmen wir hier nochmal eben schnell was nicht so viel kostet. Okay. So, hätte Schaden, wenn Biss im Kampf verwendet wird? Nee. Ich nehme nochmal Durchhaltevermögen. Weil ich bin ein sehr durchhaltender Durchhalter. So, bestätigen. Stell dir vor, du würdest in dieser Geräuschkulisse schlafen. Jeden Abend. Immer knarzt irgendwo irgendwas. Irgendwelche merkwürdigen Geräusche draußen. Hallo, Ratten.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
I'll need it. As one, we shall overcome this. We've done it before.
No. I had a drink outside tonight already and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more.
Oh dear God, not again. William, please stop.
Was haben wir denn hier?
Dearest friend, you... My last and dearest friend.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
You can't feel it.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
benutzter Knüppel, Nahkampfwaffe. Na, okay, cool. Nein.
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Scal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat, and we can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
Okay. So let's see.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Wo haben wir denn die Dingsachen? Oder ist das hier nirgendwo hinterlegt? Doch, warte. Platten. Munition. Flasche mit Alkohol. Tagesseite. Oh, ich muss mal eben kurz. Wo ist das hin? Wo ist das hin?
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... what manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that Skal. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself. Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again, from a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I hope so.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. I'm coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
Sehr nett, die Leute. Sehr nett, die Leute. Schauen wir uns doch mal um. Betritt das Pembroke Hospital. Ich habe Dr. Swanseas Hilfe angenommen, werde im Pembroke Hospital arbeiten. Ich hatte keine Wahl. Der Mann weiß von meinem Zustand, dass ich ein Vampir bin. Ich kann es nicht glauben. Ich weiß nichts über dieses abgeschiedene Krankenhaus. Jeder hier wird mich für das halten, was ich nicht länger bin, nämlich Jonathan E. Reed, den berühmten Arzt. Ich muss sie alle belügen, die Patienten, die Belegschaft. Das ist jetzt mein neues Zuhause, mein Versteck von jenen, die hinter mir sind. Mein Versteck vor der Außenwelt, bis ich verstehe, was mit mir passiert. Lalalala. Heul nicht rum. hier kommt
It's locked.
It's locked. Hey, ich kann teleportieren. Warum kann ich nicht durch Gitterstäbe teleportieren? So, was geht
It's
jetzt?
okay, Jonathan. I'll see you later.
Okay. Dann gehe ich mal einfach... Hä? What's going on?
Nah, it's my turn.
Rotten or rusty, each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
In the back, you bastard! Didn't have the guts to fuck me. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
To taste a life, to embrace its most intimate secrets. Such a burden, such a divine sin.
Ich meine, der hat den anderen Typen auch kaltblütig abgestochen. Also ist ja jetzt nicht so, als wäre das ein Unschuldiger gewesen, oder?
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
That was weirder camera angle. Who are you?
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I apologize, nurse. I needed some time to myself. This has been the longest and strangest night of my life.
You delivered poor Mr. Hampton from a terrible fate. The means to that end should be of little concern, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
And I thought last summer's epidemic was difficult.
I thought last summer's epidemic was... Yeah. And that... the summer before.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
So, also erstmal... Was ist denn hier? Verhindern Sie Ansteckungen. Unbedachtes Spucken, Schneuzen und Husten verbreitet die Grippe. Sie verbreitet sich durch Tröpfchen aus der Nase und Rachen. Husten Sie nicht in der Öffentlichkeit. Das ist so... Im Namen der Barmherzigkeit, Sie verlassen sich auf Sie. Krankenschwestern werden jetzt gebraucht. Melden Sie sich beim nächsten Regierungsbüro des Ministeriums für Arbeit und Wehrdienst oder schreiben Sie an 15 Kingsway, London.
There again.
So, let's have a look. Warte mal. Die hat gesagt Treppe hoch und dann links und dann am Ende des Ganges. Dr. Reed. Ja, das sind ja wohl wir.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Genau, verbessern, Herrscher. Ich kann sie analysieren.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Glasfiole, okay. Oh, Leute, das lese ich jetzt aber nicht wieder vor. Okay, verehrter Jonathan, Schwester Dorothy hat auf meine Weisung hin ein Büro für Sie im ersten Stock eingerichtet. Bitte entschuldigen Sie die dürftige Ausstattung, doch das Pembroke Hospital ist keineswegs das Ritz. Es tut mir auch leid, dass Sie das Büro alleine suchen müssen. Ich muss noch etwas schlafen, bevor ich weiterarbeite. Ich bin eben nur ein Sterblicher. Ja, wir müssen auch schlafen, tagsüber. Ich habe zusätzlich verordnet, man soll Sie etwas ausruhen lassen und niemals Ihren Raum betreten. Sie können ohne Störung tagsüber schlafen und ohne Verdacht zu erwecken nachts arbeiten. Ich fürchte, hier ist alles etwas unordentlich, aber wenigstens können Sie Ihre Experimente selbstständig durchführen. Ihnen wird das offene Fenster mit dem Gerüst auffallen. Es ermöglicht Ihnen jederzeit unbemerkt im Krankenhaus ein- und auszugehen. Ich kann kaum vorstellen, wie fürchterlich neu und verstörend all das für Sie sein muss. Glauben Sie mir, ich habe genug für Ihre Spezies geforscht, um zu verstehen, was Sie nun durchmachen und fühlen müssen. Ich werde alles in meiner Macht Stehende tun, um Sie bei dieser Prüfung zu unterstützen. Seien Sie versichert, dass Sie mit all dem nicht alleine dastehen. Ich bin froh, Sie in dieser finsteren Zeit getroffen zu haben. Unsere zukünftige Zusammenarbeit wird sicherlich bedeutende Früchte tragen. Willkommen in Pembroke, geschätzter Kollege. Wir sollten uns bald unterhalten. Mit freundlichen Grüßen. Edgar Griffith Swansea. Ich habe Ihnen einige Notizen über meine Entdeckung über Arcaren dagelassen. Sie können sie lesen, wenn Sie eine Orientierungshilfe brauchen. Verwenden Sie dieses Wissen aber nicht, um mich zu übervorteilen. What the fuck? So. So, ich habe 117 EP. Das reicht entweder hier für so eine weitere Schadensfähigkeit oder... Oh, warte mal. Was haben wir denn hier? Wie viel kostet du? 600? Und du kostet 600. Geht leider nicht beides. Blutbarriere. Blut. Kapazität erhöht deine Blutaufnahme, wenn bis zum Kampf verwendet wird. Ich glaube... Ich werde hier so ein paar Sachen steigern. Also ich kann... Zum Kampf verwendet wird und dann... erhöht die Regeneration. So, guck mal. Haben wir 3 Sachen direkt steigern können. Ah, jetzt hätte ich auch... Nein! Ah, gucken wir eben direkt eben nach. Okay, 500. Machen wir dann beim nächsten Mal. So, was gibt's denn hier? Warum... Schattenschleicher? Aha. Du brauchst Ausdauer, um in den Schatten zu verschwinden. Also auf jeden Fall ist das hier schon mal auf... Hier unten ist es schon mal günstiger. Naja. Aber man kann anscheinend nur eine von diesen beiden Reihen benutzen, ne? Ich bin ja eher so der Heimlich-Player, ne? Na. Nein. Na, ich bin mir aber jetzt nicht sicher, nee, das sind ja EP, das ist ja nicht das Blut-Dingens. Also die EP bekomme ich ja nicht durchs Aussaugen, wenn ich das jetzt richtig verstanden habe. Oder hauptsächlich nicht. In jeder Nacht beeinflussen deine Taten und deren Konsequenzen den Gesundheitszustand der Bezirke. Er kann sich auch dadurch verschlechtern, dass sich Krankheiten unter den Bürgern ausbreiten. Je mehr Leben du nimmst, desto schlechter steht es um den Bezirk. Wenn der Gesundheitszustand eines Bezirks unter die kritische Grenze fällt, versinkt der Bezirk im Chaos. Du entscheidest über das Schicksal eines Bezirks. So. Und da ist jetzt halt... Sorry. Ich möchte hier eigentlich keine weiteren Leute killen. Wenn es nicht irgendwie nötig ist, eigentlich.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Oh. Ja.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Ach ja, betritt die alte Leichenhalle. Okay. Gucken wir eben auf der Karte. Okay, hier raus und dann rechts rum. The old morgue.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Wo war das jetzt? So, da wo... Ach, okay. Das ist das... Hä? Benutzerdefinierte Markierung? Nee. Die habe ich da nicht gesetzt. Das muss ein Versehen gewesen sein. So, war das jetzt hier? Ich habe das mit den Dingens nicht so ganz... Das. Ach, jetzt... Ach, das war... Da gehe ich wieder raus. Oh, fuck. Das habe ich halt wieder nicht gesehen. Ich habe nicht gesehen, dass es eine Tür ist. Geld liegen lassen. Nice.
I cannot enter.
Ah, bestimmt ist hier oben irgendwo eine Tür.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
So, was haben wir hier?
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Wer denn her? Hallo? Au. Hier geht's nicht rein.
It's locked.
Das ist locked. Hier gibt's ein bisschen Kohle. Dann gehen wir mal nach unten. Ah, beziehungsweise, wir haben ja hier noch ein paar Räume. Außer hier.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Wow, what? Wo ist er denn hingeteleportet?
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
of the Skulls. Eisen, Tartrat und Chinin. Abgenutztes Amputationsmesser. Rüste sie aus und drücke, um Blut zu absorbieren. Aha, aha, aha. Örtliche Untersuchung. Eine Bürgeruntersuchung ist verfügbar. Drücke, örtliche Untersuchung zu ausrufen. Bürgeruntersuchungen werden hier nach Bezirk sortiert angezeigt. Du kannst eine neue Bürgermission beginnen, indem du sie mit verfolgst und deine Karte aufrufst, um die zu erforschende Gegend zu bestimmen. Desto tiefer fallen sie. So, was haben wir hier? Dr. Corcoran Tippett und Gwyneth Brannigan. Ich habe Dr. Tippetts Bericht über Samuel Connors Tod gelesen. Ich bin nicht so recht überzeugt. Vielleicht sollte ich selbst Nachforschen anstellen, um die wahre Todesursache des Patienten festzustellen. Okay.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Na. Herr Tippett. Da geht aber nicht alles mit rechten Dingen zu bei Ihnen. Okay. Was mit dem? Kurz hier vorne gucken. Hatte ich hier denn alles fertig? Da bin ich reingegangen, nachdem ich die beiden hier umgewämst habe. Hier ist der Aufzug. Hier war sonst aber eigentlich nichts. Hä? Achso, das ist Dr. Tippett. Dough, okay.
These skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
I get you, sir. I get you. So, was hier oben? So nothing.
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Ah, scheiße. Groß auf das Skull, okay. So, kurz wechseln. Und zwar nehmen wir mal hier als das Amputationsmesser. Schaden. Clay Spell, Ausdauer 25, Ausdauer 15, aha. Alter, what the fuck? Ich hasse euch, ihr blöden Wichser, ey. Merke. Mit dem Messer kannst du den aber nicht umballern. Also ich glaube, ich gehe doch weiter mit der Machete. Finde ich irgendwie cooler. Wupp, 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 wupp. Ja, die zweite Person gerade in dem Dingskampf, ich weiß nicht, vielleicht hatte der so eine Art Klonfähigkeit oder so. Öffentliche Bekanntmachung, Präventivmaßnahmen zur Bekämpfung der Grippe, Spanisch. Bedecken Sie bei jedem Huster und Niesen Nase und Mund mit einem Taschentuch. Gehen Sie zu Fuß zur Arbeit, kein Spucken, trinken Sie nur aus Ihren eigenen Gläsern und Tassen, meiden Sie Menschenmengen, gehen Sie bei Krankheitsanzeichen sofort zu Bett und rufen Sie einen Arzt. Anfertigung einer Maske. Nehmen Sie ein gewöhnliches Mulltuch mit Maßen, bla bla, falten Sie zunächst und bla bla bla. Legen Sie die Maske wie in der Abwehr. Das kommt mir so bekannt vor, ja. Ha, Und manchmal hat man so dieses Gefühl, dass einfach jede Pandemie aufs Neue Leute feststellen, ach, wie geht denn das nochmal mit so einer Pandemie?
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual. Especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Ja, das andere interessiert mich nicht. Du bist nur
Goodbye,
du bist einfach nur eine Pflegeperson. Was soll ich denn? Ich bin Doktor, ich bin Arzt. So, jetzt müssen wir mal gucken. Das ist die Dorothy mit der Hauptquest.
So many deaths. Still more coming. How can we be sure we're making a difference? I will not let you down, my boy.
So, wo ist denn hier? Wo muss ich denn hier hin? Wo ist denn hier mein Ziel? Ach, das ist wahrscheinlich eine Etage darüber. Ach so, ne, ja, logisch. Ich bin ja... Ich weiß ja, wie man Sachen macht und das muss ich da wahrscheinlich dann mal eben machen. So. Du hast genügend Bestandteile, um eine Behandlung gegen Erschöpfung herzustellen. Blutvergiftung, Blutarmut, Erschöpfung. Nein. Nein. Ich Idiot. Ich bin so ein Idiot. Ich habe jetzt die Natriumlösung für dieses Serum benutzt. Weil ich ein Idiot bin. Jetzt muss ich erst irgendwo eine Natriumlösung herkriegen. Fuck my life. Jetzt muss ich mal kurz gucken. An welcher Stelle der jetzt quasi zuletzt gespeichert hat. Fuck. So, gucken wir mal eben kurz. Nein. Das ist meine Aufgabe. Ich soll Kranke oder... Ja. Ich muss dieses Ding jetzt herstellen. Eine Behandlung gegen Erschöpfung her. Könnte ich denn jetzt noch so... Ja, jetzt muss ich erstmal hier die Gegend durchsuchen, um Sachen zu finden. Haja! Aber ich mach mal eben hier diesen Schatten-Ding jetzt auf jeden Fall. I'm gonna need that. Hat eine Blutaufnahme, erhält Schaden, wenn Biss im Kampf verwendet wird. Wie teuer ist denn sowas? 8000, ja. Okay. Schon mal gut, dass die Sachen auch alle nur 300 kosten. Dann mache ich erstmal das hier. Dann Blutaufnahme. Bestätige. So, ich muss aber trotzdem noch irgendwo Natriumlösungen finden. Aber bestimmt gibt es hier im Hospital auch irgendwo Natriumlösungen.
I cannot enter.
So, was haben wir denn hier so? Lalalala, hier ist... Ah, warte, hier ist was.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right. Oh, abgenutzte Säge. Patientenakte. Thomas Elwood, männlich, 28, behandelt von Dr. Tippett, Zustand genesend, Datum der Einlieferung 16. Datum der Entlassung noch offen. Anmerkung, das Gesicht des Patienten ist durch einen Bombentreffer im Krieg stark verbrannt und stellt selbst unter dem Einfluss stärkster Beruhigungsmittel versuchen ihm die Wunden laut eigener Angabe regelmäßig starke Schmerzen. Es sei, als ob die Flammen noch immer unter der Haut brennen, sagt er. Die Untersuchung des Narbengewebs geben keinerlei Aufschluss auf Entzündungen, Infektionen oder Schwellungen. Die Narben sind in Ordnung. Könnte es ein Fall fortdauernder Nervenschädigung sein? Der Patient gibt sich unentwegt selbst die Schuld an seiner Entstellung. Leidet er vielleicht am Überlebensschuldsyndrom, an Phantomschmerz, der sich als Bestrafung dafür manifestiert, dass er nicht gemeinsam mit seinen Kameraden den Tod gefunden hat? Okay. Ja, so eine psychologische Geschichte, ne? Billiger Gin? Ich will doch einfach nur Natriumlösung jetzt haben, weil ich doof bin. Kann denn das Spiel nicht vorausahnen, dass der Spieler doof ist? Kommen wir nicht rein? Second Floor. Jetzt gehen wir nochmal auf der anderen Seite gucken. Irgendwo hier in diesem...
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right. Irgendwo hier in diesem verfluchten Krankenhaus muss doch eine Natriumlösung zu finden sein. Das kann doch nicht sein. Was ist das denn für ein Krankenhaus? Ich meine, Natriumlösung. Das ist doch... Sich das falsch, das ist doch Salz. Das ist doch fucking Salz.
It's locked.
It's locked. It's fucking egal. Ey, weißt du, du läufst da mit einem Beil rum. Ne? Mit einer Machete. Und stehst vor so einem... vor so einer Kiste. Och, ja, das ist...
I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation.
Huh?
I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Das Krankenhaus ist voll. Uch, boyo, boyo, boyo. Haben wir auch schon. Alter! Junge. Don't mess with me. Foto eines verliebt lächelnden Pärchens. Auf der Rückseite steht Milton und Pippa für immer. Oh, warte mal, aber das sind doch... Also Milton und Pippa sind... Milton und Pippa sitzen auf dem Baum. Ach, jetzt geht. Also wieder ins Dingens. Nein. Weil die habe ich ja schon alles durchgeguckt. Das ist ja totaler Quatsch. Hallo, werte Doktorin. Jemand von Ihnen Natriumlösung vielleicht? Also ich hatte auch Natriumlösung, aber ich hab's schon vergeigt auch. Ja?
I cannot enter.
Ihre Stadt braucht jedes Leben, das durch effiziente medizinische Hilfe gerettet wird, ist ein Stich ins Herz der Epidemie. Freiwillige machen den Unterschied. Melden Sie sich beim nächsten Registrierungsbüro, bla bla. Verschlossen. Who are you?
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead. A colleague? Are you a doctor too? Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Jadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Jadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Please show me what you have.
Of course. It's just trinkets and...
Opium, Kodein. Vielleicht kaufen wir einfach Natriumlösung. Dankeschön, Mr. Schradesh. Well, that was awkward. Bist du irgendwie eine Patientin?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cottage Syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul. Or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire!
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Schon. Das ist schon cool. Ist schon lustig, gell? So, gehen wir erst nochmal hier hinten jetzt endlich dieses Heilmittel machen. Was ich ja eigentlich schon die ganze Zeit machen wollte. Ich hatte es nur vergessen. So. Bringe die Medizin zu Dorothy Crane im Patientenzimmer. So, wo könnte die denn sein? Okay, die scheint unten zu sein. Downstairs. Was? Okay.
Don't waste your time with me.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Krankheiten verringern die Blutqualität eines Bürgers. Verwende die richtigen Medikamente, um ihn zu heilen. Sprich mit dem Patienten im Zimmer hinter Dorothy, um seinen Gesundheitszustand zu kontrollieren. Okay. Who are you?
I'm all right. Don't...
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Drücke E, um Gesundheitszustand des Bürgers zu kontrollieren. Die Heilung eines Bürgers verbessert seine Blutung mit EP. Außerdem verbessert sich der Gesundheitszustand des Bezirks.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
I will see you later. How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
So.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Was ist denn hier los? Erschöpfung, Behandlung gegen Erschöpfung. Okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I'm...
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Erholt sich.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured, you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Don't waste your time with me.
What a blundering idiot.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Okay.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
My sweet girl.
Ja. Wo häng ich denn hier gerade? Hallo? Irgendwie. Hallo? Hä? Kamera gerade.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
Verrückt.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Aber ich habe doch hier eigentlich schon alles gefragt. Warte mal, drücke für mehr Details. Erholt sich. Mortimer Goswick. Kein Blutverlust. Warte mal. Ne. Obwohl, warte mal, kann ich den mesmerisieren? Okay, das kann ich noch nicht.
I have to go now.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Calm the children.
Deiner Bandstufe oder niedriger und wähle sie mit Bedacht aus. So. Ist über mir? Muss ja schon sein.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
Fuck. This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Do you need something, Jonathan?
I have just a...
Then ask away.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skald?
A Skald is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
How do Skalds come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand today?
Oh, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings, and the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
We'll see each other again.
We'll see each other.
Do you need something, Jonathan?
Ach, nein. Nein.
We'll see each other again.
Nein, nein, nein. Auf Wiedersehen. So, was haben wir hier? Warnender Brief. Sehr geehrter Dr. Swansea, hiermit informiere ich Sie über einen starken Zweifel bezüglich Dr. Thoreau Strickland und dem Fall von Harvey Fiddick. Mr. Fiddick wurde nach einem schweren Arbeitsunfall eingeliefert. Wenn man ihn nicht angemessen behandelt, läuft er Gefahr, seinen Arm zu verlieren. Dr. Strickland behauptet, ein medizinischer Eingriff könne den Arm des Mannes komplett heilen. Ich fürchte, dass Komplikationen ihm den Arm kosten könnten. Unser junger Kollege ist ein kühner, experimentierfreudiger Arzt, der in ein paar Jahren zu einem hervorragenden Experten reifen könnte, doch nun fehlt ihm die Expertise, diese riskante Behandlung durchzuführen. Muss ich Sie an seine früheren Verfehlungen erinnern. Da Dr. Strickland nicht auf mich hört, empfehle ich Ihnen, sein gefährliches Experiment zu unterbinden, Dr. Waverly Aykroyd. Okay. Der Herr Strickland. So, haben wir sonst noch irgendwelche interessanten Sachen hier in deinem Büro? Edgar! No? Okay. Sprich mit der Gönnerin, die sich am Gönnern ist. Das ist auch ein nices Outfit. So eine Tweedweste. Andere Seite. So, warte mal. Who are you? Bist du Pippa?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Warte mal.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Wie kann ich denn hier einschalten, dass ich diese Bürgermenü örtliche Untersuchung. Ah, warte mal, hier. Ah. Die Geld ihren Besitzer. Okay. So.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody's as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
I'd like to see you.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed.
Schau mal einer an. Ja, warte, ich wollte noch ein paar Fragen stellen.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Vollkommen legitim. Sehe ich auch so. So.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Hello again.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything.
Fucking awful.
And it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Beim Vampyr gab es schon was zu essen, ist schon leer. Und zwar gab es Gnocchi mit einer vegetarischen Bolognese-Soße und Erbsen und ordentlich viel Käse drauf. So. War sehr lecker. Ich habe auch noch einen Rest für morgen.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
So, kurz einen Blick. So. Ich hoffe, das kann man sehen. So sah das aus. Schlecht. Ich kann dir das sonst auch nachher nochmal schicken. Der Sound kommt nice über die Bluetooth-Box. Okay. Nice and smooth. Smoothie, smoothie, smooth. Ich muss mir kurz was hier schreiben und dann geht's sofort weiter mit Milton Hooks, unserem übel gelaunten Krankenwagenfahrer. So.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Ja, dann habe ich, glaube ich, so persönliche Fragen. Jetzt, ja, kann ich noch nicht. Habe ich ja schon.
I'd like to see...
Wise choice.
ich habe ja schon geguckt, aber da gab es jetzt nicht wirklich was Interessantes. So, wir wollten noch mit jemandem sprechen. Wo ist... Hä? Jetzt Blade. Das ist schon Milk quasi, oder?
Perhaps I should consider the offer from that Cadogan fellow.
Ihr zwei seid doch die Leute, die hier so ein bisschen merkwürdig rüberkommen. Naja.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, Your Ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition. with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Die Harriet ist also die Quatschtuse hier.
Is our little mystery closer to being solved, Dr. Reed?
I think of nothing else.
My situation is delicate, and it occupies all my thoughts. The blackmail must stop. I need assurance.
Ja, okay. Also sonst möchte sie erstmal nichts sagen.
Lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New York once.
If only there were more of us, with less resignation and more determination.
I know I can count on you. I wish I could say the same for the others.
You look exhausted. You're pushing yourself too hard. You don't have to bear
die
the
zwei
burdens
da,
of
die
this
sind
hospital
doch...
alone.
Haben wir jetzt Zeug? Glasfiole. What about you? Are you going to die? Are you going to die? Who is going to die? So. Wir haben hier viele Sachen, die hier gerade abgehen. Ich würde aber eigentlich... Das haben wir schon geklärt. So.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
So, Pippa.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings within the hospital?
I don't have time for such nonsense, Doctor. I've work to do.
Blackmail is a serious matter, Nurse Hawkins.
Everything is serious around here, Dr. Reed. Starting with patients who need me.
Are you certain? You seem nervous.
If you have something in mind, just speak up, Doctor. Otherwise, stop breathing down my neck.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, Nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Ja, das fühlt sich einfach so an wie, ja, so ist es, ne? No one will know when the epidemic is over.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, We break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Have you heard of any...
I don't have to...
Haben wir schon gesprochen. Hier haben wir aber noch keine neuen Hinweise.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Das war's, Pippa. Who are you then?
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
I'll give you some advice, but understand that nothing beats practical experience, which can be exhausting and solitary work.
Of course, sir. And don't worry, I will never allow myself to be a burden, neither to you nor this hospital.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. Have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Ja.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father. Ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree.
But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Uiuiui. Das ist ja hier
Goodbye,
so ein Emergency Room. Wie heißt das? Grey's Anatomy Drama Shit hier. Ah, der ist so böse. Der ist böse. Der hat das gesagt. Der hat das gesagt. Wer bist du? Bist du der Ackroyd? Nee, du bist der Tippett, ne?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival.
Ackroyd.
I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Fair.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Okay. So, wer ist das hier? Ist das ist die Dingens.
How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year?
You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
So, mit dem kann ich nicht reden. Hier ist der Dingens. Wie geht's ihm denn heute?
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Immer noch nichts Persönliches fragen.
How painful.
So painful, I'd rather.
Okay. Das ist immer noch das Problem, okay.
I have to go now, sir. But don't...
Good evening, sir.
Ja, good evening, sir. Hier, Frau Godwick.
Good evening, Doctor.
Gibt's hier noch irgendwelche...
Have you heard...
Dr. Reed, are you trying to take...
Of course not, Mrs.
Well, go be curious somewhere.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Hey, du hast mir doch selber davon erzählt, dass du... Ach so, nee, das ging um die Erpressung, es ging um dein Gedönse da.
Dr. Reed.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
Get it.
For how long have you been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
Das ist alles so nahbar.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have had run-ins with the law?
Doctor, you've hardly been here and you're already questioning the moral fortitude of the staff.
Have you heard rumors about blackmail within the hospital?
I don't have time to listen to all the
Ja, alles gut, Crane.
I'll see you later.
Sister Dorothy. So, ich würde gerne nochmal mit der... mit der Königin der Nacht reden. Hallo.
Daily routine.
Königin der Nacht.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Have you heard of any...
I have no time for mortal game.
Yeah, okay.
I'll leave you, Mistress.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir. A giant morgue disguised as a hospital. That's Pembroke nowadays.
Damn. The pain.
Who are you?
Good evening, sir.
Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Das ist so sweet.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cottage Syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Where were you stationed, sir?
I really don't want to talk about...
No offense. I was pushing too much.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war.
Okay. Leben in London.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
You know you can't hide forever. One day you'll have to face your loved ones. Until that day, you have no chance of real recovery.
My friends all died in the trenches. It's shameful enough to be alive with these stupid scars. I don't want my children to see me like this.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Er ist gesund, es ist einfach eine Geistessache. Oh, ich will die beiden irgendwie zusammenbringen, dass die zusammen glücklich werden.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. Time has lost its effect on me. But the suffering continues.
Oh, who are you?
Good evening, Mr. Hampton.
Ach, der.
How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Ich sehe gerade, wir haben schon 16 Uhr, schon nach 16 Uhr. Ich mache jetzt Folgendes, ich werde jetzt noch hier im Krankenhaus noch die letzten paar Gespräche so oder noch so mit allen mal einmal gesprochen haben und dann machen wir Schluss für heute. Und beim nächsten Mal, ich weiß noch nicht, vielleicht schaffe ich das auch also jetzt durch die kommende Woche noch mal abends. Ansonsten am Sonntag, nächste Woche Sonntag wieder. Und da werden wir dann mal wieder ein bisschen rausgehen und ein bisschen versuchen, Dinge zu machen und Leute auszusagen. Naja, aber erst nochmal hier so ein bisschen chitty-chatty mit den Leuten in die Krankenhaus.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith, willing to preach the good word.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place, and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts? The bartender from the Turtle. I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show. with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
So. Harriet. What's up? What are you up to?
What? What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones, greetings.
Again?
Now,
Well,
if you could just tell me why you were admitted.
it's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired. Wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
Have you noticed any suspicious comings or goings?
It would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
Come now, Miss Jones. Surely it's not that bad.
Have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones.
Harriet Jones. Ich habe den Namen schon mal irgendwo gehört. Ich meine, es war Doctor Who.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Also falls jemand sich gerade was zu sagen kann.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Ist halt gesund.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening, Mr.
Evening.
You told me before you don't want your children to see you like this. Do you have any other family?
My sister Agatha has raised me nippers since their mother died. Don't want them to look at me like this.
Your sister's not a child. I'm sure she has nothing but respect for a wounded soldier, and you are her brother.
You don't know my sister Agatha. She may be young, but she's all discipline and morality. If she ever found out what really happened...
She doesn't have to know.
She's a sly one, my sister. One day she'll find out the truth and knock 7 bells out of me. Nah. I'm better off here.
How could children despise their father injured in the war?
What do you think? They saw me. Once. My poor angels left the room crying. They keep on having nightmares every week, my sister told me.
Goodbye for now.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
So, ich gehe jetzt nochmal nach oben. In unseren Raum. Oh. Ja. Erst nochmal hier. Aber wir haben gerade nichts, was verbrauchen. Ich glaube, die meisten von denen waren ja eigentlich... Ach nee, ich habe jetzt bei der Harriet nicht geguckt, was die braucht. Das kann ich aber auch morgen nochmal machen. Morgen, also am nächsten Tag, wo wir weiterspielen. Dafür reicht's noch nicht. Gibst mir Blut, um dich sofort zu heilen und zusätzlich deine Gesundheitsregeneration zu erhöhen. Tauscht die zusätzlich sofortige Heilung gegen eine bessere Regeneration. So, Sprung. Du führst eine übernatürliche Bewegung in Richtung deines Zielers und versuchst Schaden bei der Landung. 500. Dann könnte ich noch... So einen Sprung finde ich schon cool. Den kann man bestimmt auch passiv nutzen. Zustand des Körpers. Noch eine Gesundheit mehr oder? Jetzt Stufe 2 haben wir gerade. Großer Durst erhöht deine Blutaufnahme, wenn Biss im Kampf verwendet wird. Erhöht deine Ausdauer. Regeneration der Lebenspunkte, wenn Biss im Kampf verwendet wird. Mehr Schaden. Boah. Na komm, wir machen den jetzt erst nochmal ein bisschen stärker. Ja. Nein. Bestätigen. Die folgende Nacht. Ihr seid alle verdächtig. Alle. Ja. So, das war's. Tut mir leid, dass es so viel Story quasi war. Also so viel Gespräche und so. War jetzt halt nicht der aufregendste Stream. Aber für einen Sonntag denke ich mal ganz in Ordnung. Ne? Da will man ja auch ein bisschen zur Ruhe kommen. Will sich einfach nur berieseln lassen. Ich würde sagen, wir machen einfach, weiß ich nicht, vielleicht am Mittwoch oder am Donnerstag weiter. Mal gucken, ob ich da Zeit habe. Und ansonsten wünsche ich euch noch einen schönen Sonntag. Oder generell einen schönen Tag, je nachdem, wann ihr euch das anschaut. Und dann bleibt mir nichts anderes zu sagen als rettet die Welt. Ciao.